Let's get to the bottom of this one. Unspoken truths that I miss one. Tap into the minds of the people, rather acknowledge before I dismiss one. Atheists, Muslim, Christians, Buddhists, they all got usage, all got perspective. It's a collective. Get to the bottom of the truth is, with our hearts uncovered. Boy, detox from all of the lies you smothered. When them tries could have killed you, but with faith you recover. Yeah, peel off the makeup, we finna take off. Never said it'd be a cakewalk. Meditate till we charged up. Execute goes regardless. Decalcify my pineal. Breaking language barriers, we saw millennials. Planets passing age rotations, down me we owe. So down me we know. Sometimes we can be slow, that's why my ears open. Every drop you add could complete the ocean. Speak up, play your part too. Been vulnerable, it's an art tool. Reflect on all the juice like torture. It's on you, tell the truth.
Yeah, we about to have a good conversation. Yeah, let's go. We about to have a good conversation. Yeah, let's go. We about to have a good conversation. Yeah, let's go. Listen. Yeah, aim in the fit so you see in the mirror. Play with your focus and watch it get clear. Polish your crown, turn it up if you wear it. You live in the root, release what you're fearing. And watch it all rise, the righteous will hear it. They calling us twisted, I'm not even caring. Because it's unseen, the mind is too barren. They won't even heal it, they pass it to cheering. We over here healing, conversing and listening. Know that the truth isn't always appealing, but end it with healing and find your beginning. Frequency positive, what you receiving. Perception is up to you, what you believing. What you retrieving, mentally speaking. Life that they breathing, no words from a heathen. Don't know it all, but together undefeated. Conversation, rather want it, you need it. Come fill up your tank before it's depleted. Don't care if you calling on Allah, Jesus, Buddha or Christian, not being facetious. Come to the trial with the students and teachers. All got a voice, we the ears that'll listen. We the ears that'll listen. We the ears that'll listen. Conversation, rather want it, you need it. Come fill up your tank before it's depleted. Don't care if you calling on Allah, Jesus, Buddha or Christian, not being facetious. Come to the trial with the students and teachers. All got a voice, we the ears that'll listen. We the ears that'll listen. We the ears that'll listen. Hey. Yeah. We about to have a good conversation. Yeah, let's go. We about to have a good conversation. Yeah, let's go. Praying for truth cause the world is so fickle. Keeping my mental how clean as a whistle. Attention's a trap, they can lead you astray. Steering this ship through the storm and the haze. Real conversations are lost in the greed. Others get lost in the web that it weaves. Sift through the rhetoric, uncover schemes. Knowledge inherited, this is imperative. I got a lot on my mind and I'm sharing it. Apples to oranges, it ain't no comparisons. I'm the type that'll never break character. I'm the type to make memories and cherish them. Trust intuition and doubt of disparity. Pursuing the echoes of wisdom. Chasing that moment of clarity. Conversation rather one and you need it. Come fill up your tank before it's depleted. Don't care if you calling on Allah or Jesus, Buddha or Christian, not being facetious. Come to the track with the students and teachers. All got a voice who the ears that'll listen. We the ears that'll listen. We the ears that'll listen. Conversation rather one and you need it. Come fill up your tank before it's depleted. Don't care if you calling on Allah or Jesus, Buddha or Christian, not being facetious. Come to the track with the students and teachers. All got a voice who the ears that'll listen. Who the ears that'll listen. We the ears that'll listen.
It's on you, tell the truth.
Peace. I am Kimberly Vertigan. I'm an integrative holistic health practitioner and herbalist and Reiki spiritual healer, also known as Universe Badger. Tonight we're asking a question that almost everyone has faced without realizing it. How many of the beliefs you carry today were actually chosen by you? Before we had the ability to think critically, we were taught what was right and what was wrong, what success looked like and what love meant, what to fear, who to trust, and sometimes even who to avoid. Some of those beliefs helped us grow. Others may have quietly limited who we could be. Tonight isn't about proving anyone wrong. It's about becoming aware enough to ask, are my beliefs truly mine, or were they simply passed down? Golden Eagle, peace. You muted, unmuted. There you go.
Peace, peace.
Could you read the deeper meaning, please?
Yeah. Every person inherits something. Sometimes it's traditions, sometimes it's values, sometimes it's wisdom, sometimes it's fear. Beliefs are like seeds. Many are planted before we're old enough to know we're planting a garden. As we grow, those seeds become our thoughts, habits, opinions, and identity. Although not every inherited belief is unhealthy, every belief deserves examination. Belief or growth begins when we're willing to ask ourselves why we believe what we believe. Questioning isn't disrespect, it's awareness. Awareness gives us the freedom to choose instead of simply repeating. Let's have a good conversation.
Yes. So let's start off with, what beliefs did you inherit that has positively impacted your life?
Anything I put my mind to, I can do.
Who taught you that?
My dad.
Yeah, I like that. For me, I think that I don't know. I think that a belief system that was inherited through me would be love thy neighbor. My dad would always tell me that. He would always tell me, he called, my nickname was Bugs, and he'd be like, Bugs, listen. He's like, love's important. Love thy neighbor, no matter who they are, what they're doing, or what they have that you don't have, or that you have that they don't have. Love them equally, because you never know.
I like
He
that.
he used to say to me, you never know who Jesus was.
That's
I
awesome.
Yeah, I remember that one a lot. I never really talked about it though. I just knew that love was the answer. But until tonight, until just I thought about it. I was like, you know what? That's what one thing he taught me. In our family, we were the type of family that no matter what whose kids they were all our kids. Like, we had everybody's kids calling my dad or pops or something. And half of them probably were related to me because my dad was a Rolling Stone, and then the other half, it doesn't matter. He just loved kids. And everybody was at our house. We always had people over, all my cousins, everything. It was great. So, have you ever discovered that something you believed wasn't actually your own belief?
Yeah, I mean, I gotta say, yeah, different aspects of religion. They were more adopted or inherited. I had to really examine them and either choose to take them on as my own or see them from a different perspective, from my own perspective, and maybe even view them differently. You know,
That's one thing too. I want to say, probably for me too, would be religion. Yeah, that, and school was actually there to help us. That was another thing. I didn't realize that school was actually just institutionalizing you.
right,
I
right.
really, I really thought we were supposed to learn all this about history and all this stuff, not realizing that it's just his story, and none of
Yeah,
that really mattered. So yeah, that's one thing too. Also, I know I'm probably gonna get shunned for this one too. Also, probably like the whole work ethic. I've always been a great worker. I've always worked. My dad always said that to me. Um, you've always had a job. You always had more than one job, and working was something that he always guaranteed that he knew I would do. And then I started realizing that there's more to life than just that dollar. Even though a lot of people swear by it and really need it, and they believe that has to be. I've seen it cause families to separate. I've seen it hurt many of people, like at funerals and everything. Oh, they weren't worried about the person no longer being here. They're worried about what that person left them behind. So yeah, that was one thing that, that I wish that I would have known differently about when I was younger. Can you relate to how money can tear people apart?
Oh, absolutely. I've seen it. I've seen it in my own family too, actually. Yeah.
I started thinking about, what made my family change, and it's always when my grandma passed. That the grandma always kept everything together, and that's when my family stopped doing those reunions and stopped hanging out and stopped all like coming together. Is when my grandma passed, and then I started thinking, what else made us separate? And it was money. When
Right.
my dad had a whole bunch of it, everybody was around.
Right.
And then when my dad went through a time where he didn't have much of it, everybody disappeared, and it seemed like they were only there because of that. So yeah, that's another thing. So what's the difference between respecting tradition and blindly following it?
Damn, I don't know. I guess, just respecting it simply because it's traditional and accepting it for that, but blindly following it is like you don't even examine the basis. I guess you just believe it's what's right simply because it's traditional. But I mean there can be unhealthy traditions too. So we have to examine what it is that's traditional and why.
I got a really good one. Christmas.
Yeah.
Christmas. I mean, my son stopped believing in Santa Claus when he was like 11 or 12, and I convinced him that it was real again. And I passed that on. It was so extreme that, I even took the boots and put it in the flour and made it look like he was walking. I did the whole writing of, them notes back and having them send notes to the North Pole and having cookies. I did all that. And then now that I'm older, I realize that it's kind of demonic in a way of what I really pushed upon my children to believe.
Right. And I let my kids believe until they didn't believe, and I feel like once they were old enough to start seeing through it, then I mean they were old enough to know the truth. And I always also, even in the process of doing the whole Santa thing, I still also always tried to reinforce it with the fact that it's actually a day that's it's a celebration of life for Jesus, and so it's not just about Santa Claus and cookies and gifts, it's but even that is a religious tradition, so that's again that's a traditional holiday that's just a traditional religious tradition, and so I kind of had to let them decipher what they believe as far as that's concerned too. You know?
You,
I mean, I personally don't believe that's really his birthday. That's just the day they picked to celebrate his birth, and so
the more that the older we get, the more I start realizing that pagan holidays and witchcraft and all this other sorcery stuff and the calendars changed and the months aren't even the same and like just so many things that I had no clue. I
right,
had no clue. And I can't tell you what's real and what's not anymore. I honestly can't. I can't tell you
right.
what is my belief system or it was inherited because I think that a lie has been inherited my whole entire life.
But yeah, and I mean, like Christmas is a good example. There's a lot of traditions that are today considered Christmas traditions or Christian traditions, but they were adopted. Christianity adopted them from pagan traditions.
Yeah.
Like the lights. I mean, that was something that just hanging lights and the lights on the trees. That was something that before Christianity, pagan religions did in their little villages and stuff, and they did it to keep the darkness out because winter is a time of darkness, It was more in remembrance to spring, and that there will be light again, and so it wasn't necessarily about, like I said, the lights on the trees and the lights in the windows, and that's a pagan thing. Actually, it was just adopted by Christianity. There's a lot of other ones too. Actually, I was watching a documentary around Christmas time this year that was I think it's on Amazon. I think it's called A Very Pagan Christmas. And it was really cool though. It was really deep, man. And it talked about all those things, like all the different pagan traditions that slowly kind of became adopted into Christianity, and became Christian traditions, and then gave the basis behind them, which it was pretty deep, man.
I mean, even Halloween, I'm going to tell you almost every single holiday. It's probably going to kick you out. I got to mute you because that was loud. But every single holiday is like, I don't celebrate them no more. I don't celebrate one thing, let alone Earth dates, nothing. I don't celebrate none of that stuff. Kendall said she don't do Christmas like everyone else. And then she said all holidays are begin what? Oh, pagan beliefs or basics. Yeah, no, that's true.
Yeah, the basics. Yeah.
That's so true. They are. And once I found out really about Halloween too, and I was just like, man, I let my children dress up in those demonic spirits. I did.
Right.
The gorier the better. You wanted to dress up in something really gory. I was like, yeah, let's do it. And then I realized, oh shoot. I mean, there's so many things. Singing happy birthday, singing the happy birthday song, that is actually a spell. And I just know so much now compared to what I did when I was younger.
Right.
Can love exist without questioning?
Love exists without questioning. Yeah, absolutely. That's that unconditional shit. You don't. Yeah, absolutely. In fact, that's the rawest, the most natural way. That's not something you should have to question. Yeah, that's not something that needs to be questioning if it's natural. And love definitely can. Love can be something that blooms or grows, but it can also be something that just simply comes naturally. So yeah, can definitely exist without questioning. And that which is natural, what's there to question in that? That's like questioning why the grass grows,
Yeah.
or why the tree drops its leaf. I don't know, like that's just, yeah, it's love. And I think love is actually like pure, unconditional love is a natural thing. So, yeah, it definitely can exist without questioning.
Kendall said, don't get me started on Pokemon. That's even demonic. I ain't denying it. I'm not denying nothing these days. I'm telling you, I'm not surprised by anything. What's up is down. What's down is up. And we've been so duped. So duped. And you don't trust anything, not even our food these days. And I do believe that love it can exist without questioning. I think it should be the most natural, non-forced thing in the world.
Right. Absolutely.
I honestly think that life should be as a child would see it.
Yeah.
Pure. That's why I love children so much, because of that they just have that pureness that the world hasn't damaged them yet,
Yeah. I've only talked to, a handful of people know this about me, but I have a tendency of crying when I hold an infant. It's it's almost spiritual to me. I feel like babies like that, man, infants, little tiny toddlers, little babies, man, they're the closest thing to God on earth. Honestly, the purest, most innocent, most perfect thing, man. Just thinking about it honestly gets me a little emotional, and they're tears of joy. You know, it's like I said, I feel like holding an infant, man. That's the closest thing to God you're gonna get on this planet. You know, and it's
I
because
agree.
it's just perfection. It's they're just so beautiful and perfect, man. So innocent, and that
I
innocent.
agree.
You know, they're unscathed from this earth. Really,
Yeah.
they haven't been tainted with the nastiness that this planet has. You know, and so it's just so beautiful, man. Every time I hold an infant, it gets me choked up. In fact, sometimes in the wrong scene, I'll avoid holding an infant. Sometimes just seeing a baby like that will get me emotional because, like I said, it's spiritual to me, man. It's like I said, babies that's the closest thing to God.
And for some reason, kids are like drawn to me. They're just drawn to me. And we have these neighborhood nephews, and we had the neighborhood, the boys next door, the little kids next door. He's like 4, and he just adores me, and he just wants to have me sit by him and talk to him about everything. And it's just that innocence, that pureness, that just that's just real love, you know? They'd be like,
Yeah,
"Excuse me." Today when I took Gucci out, "Excuse me," and I said, "Yeah," and they said, "I love your dog," and I'm like, "Oh, thank you." And it's just, kids are just great. This says, Kendall says, "Love is endless, no matter the outcome. Life's perspective." I'm also requested prayer on northern atmosphere is under state of emergency for having 85 forest fires across. Hold on, Kendall. Hold on, buddy. Hold on. I'm trying to read this. Across our acres, on top of having another tornado. Watch the weather over here. It's been nuts. Well, positive energy towards you. And then she says, "Oh, and I caught a person trying to rob my property this morning. I'm having a rough week." And she sprained her ankle. So yeah, I get it. Peace, peace, S. Jeff Graham or Divine Creations. My bad. See, I was doing so good.
Peace, peace. How y'all doing?
all
Oh,
right.
all is truly well. So I'm gonna go back to the top and ask you a few questions. What beliefs did you inherit that has positively impacted your life?
Ask that question again.
What beliefs did you inherit that has positively impacted your life? You thinking?
Did he lose him?
I don't know. We might have lost them. No?
Oh, I muted. My bad. Um, um, everything I would say is a knowing. So I would say I am.
Okay.
That was the most effective one to me.
Okay. I like that. Here's a couple more. Have you ever discovered that something you believed wasn't actually your own belief?
Hell yeah.
Me too.
Um, the most recent belief, but I don't want to talk about that. So um, damn, my brain's trying to cycle through too many of them. Um, one of the worst ones was for you are not worthy. It only comes by grace and blessing.
Oh,
That was the worst one. That telling me I'm not worthy like it ain't in the Bible.
yeah.
Well, well, that was the worst one because I never ever looked that up until actually I didn't or whatever. I was listening to somebody talk, I think Saturday, and they said it, and they actually said the scripture. I was like, bullshit, and I went and looked myself, and it was there, and that immediately became the worst lie that I have heard consistently all my life.
Wow. So, what's the difference between respecting tradition and blindly following it?
Which tradition?
Any.
I mean, most of them want you to blindly follow any damn way. Well, so I don't think it's a difference or whatever. They well, unless you're talking about like Christmas and holidays, like traditional things like that,
That's what I.
then yeah, I mean most of the time or whatever, that people like to tell their kids these weird ass stories or whatever, they like to play these games or whatever. They think it's cute or whatever. So
Yeah, I was one of
I
those
would
people.
say at all time. Yeah, I definitely wasn't. Yeah, I told my kids, do not look for Santa. I am Santa. You better what? That's how I know. That's how Santa knows who's not in good because I am Santa. Like I didn't play. I didn't hide shit. I said, ain't nobody. I said, son, we ain't even got a chimney. Where he coming down the chimney at? Can we eat cookies for him, son? I don't even eat them type of cookies. What you talking about? Yeah, I'm Santa Claus, bro. You tripping? I don't even like them type of cookies.
Yeah, I was one of them people. Can
I
love
was.
exist without questioning?
Can what?
Love exists without questioning.
For kids, yeah. Um, I believe that, and that might not even be unconditional, but I believe it's the closest to unconditional that it gets with kids, well, for most people. Yeah, yeah. I don't question everything else though.
Yeah.
So.
So
So,
the,
love for kid, the unconditional love for kids, but the absolute unconditional love for myself. Now, outside of those two, yeah, I question it.
I agree. I agree. So Golden Eagle, how much of our identity comes from our environment versus our own experiences? You're muted.
How much of our identity comes from our environment versus our own experiences? I mean, I think it's a pretty great deal. I don't know. I mean, I ain't got numbers for you, but I do think obviously we are products of our environment, but our experiences, we're also products of our experiences because our experiences form who we are, who we grow to be, or who we have grown to be. So I mean, it's probably 50-50. I mean, after all, it really, I guess it's all one and the same in a sense because our experiences come from our environment. We don't experience anything outside the environment, so whatever environment we're in. So I kind of feel like they go hand in hand, I guess. I mean, we are products of our environment, but our experiences, those shape who we are too. But again, the environment and experiences they kind of go hand in hand, I think.
Okay. How about you, Divine Creation? How much of our identity comes from our environment versus our own experiences?
It's 100% on both sides.
Yeah.
I was thinking the same way before he said it. Because my experience in a certain environment wasn't the same experience as the next person in that same exact environment. So, it's still our own experience, our own journey. It's just this is how we judging it because of what's in front of us.
I can see that too. I'll agree with that too, because I'm not who I used to be, even and because my environment changed and my experience have changed. So I'm agreeing. It goes both ways. I think it's 100% both.
But like the way I would look at it, like most of the dope boys, if they grew up in extra suburban neighborhoods with day schools, they probably would have been businessmen. Well, you know, they was already good with money. They was naturally good with money. They would have made great businessmen, or whatever. But because of the environment, the experience, the journey took them with doing business this way.
Yeah,
Well, you know,
I can receive that. I can receive that. Should children be taught what to think or how to think? Golden Eagle?
I don't think they should be taught what to think. I think. In fact, I mean, we gotta let people think for themselves, even children. You know, we need to offer them guidance and share our own wisdom and advice, but we got to let them formulate their own viewpoints, their own opinions, their own. I mean, they're gonna have their own perspective on things too. So I don't think we need to teach them what to think or how to think. We need to allow them to think. We need to teach them to think for themselves. That's what, yeah. Yeah, I think we need to teach them to think for themselves. But again, we also have to offer our viewpoints on things too.
Divine creation. Should children be taught what to think or how to think?
how to process.
I,
They should
um,
they should be taught how to process. Um, you know, I don't now if it's just an absolute answer, yeah, I'm finna let you know this is an absolute answer. There's no other answer for this. So where 2 plus 2 is gonna always be 4. Do not say 5 and think you smarter than somebody. Whatever, you know, but you know, other things like I literally ask them, then they'll tell me, and then I'll be like, why do you think that way? I'll be like, don't get scared. I'm not saying you right or wrong. I just want to know why did you think that that was your answer? Whatever. Then I talk them through it, and I either watch them double down on their answer, or I watch them naturally change their answer because I'm taking them through the thought process, how to put your thoughts together, what's fact or fiction, you know, or what's more factual than fiction, I should say. Well, because at the end of the day, it's saying like all information just keep evolving and changing. So I say more factual than fiction, or you know. So that's how I do it with them. Now other people might try to do another way, like we was in church or whatever. You know, one thing I hated in church is that everywhere we went, because I was a little 3-year-old lead singer on the adult gospel choir and all this crap that people just adored. I always had to introduce myself when I went places. I hated that. I hated it. Whatever. So the first time my kids came to church down here, well, you know, the preacher tried himself or whatever, you know. I see we got some new young fellas or whatever. Why don't these young fellas stand up? And I put my hand to the side and I said, do y'all want to stand up? And they said, nah. And I looked at the preacher. I said, they won't be standing up today. Continue with your service. And he just looked at me. I didn't bat an eye or whatever. Like, nah, I'm letting them think for themselves. I'm not finna make them do this because I hate it when y'all made me do it.
yeah.
Whatever, you know, or whatever. So they're gonna have their say so on little things like this. Like I'm not taking that away because I was scared to be myself when I grew up. I felt like I had to do what everybody else wanted to do before I could do what I wanted to do.
Mhm.
Where it took me 35, 36 years old before I finally started just telling people, nah, I ain't doing that. Nah, you good. Nah, I hit you back. People didn't know how to take that because they knew it was a yeah out of me. Good, you know, like I was gonna figure out how to tell everybody yeah. Good, you know, I don't want my kids being that way at all. God damn well, so I'm letting them make their decisions now. Whatever. I done straight up, hey, when y'all go back home, if y'all mama try to tell y'all blah 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 blah, y'all call me ASAP. Good, you know, like I want them to learn how to direct their life. I'm gonna be there when they fall, but hey, they got to fall. They got to learn. Well, of course, I ain't gonna let them fall behind no bars or whatever, but they got to trip up and understand what they naturally did wrong versus somebody always telling them.
And I agree. How I thought when I was younger and how I feel now are two different things. And I'm different with my grandchild than I am with my own child than I was with my own child. And that's because I didn't know no different back then. And I never looked at it the way that I didn't like it. I just thought that's how it was. And Now I do believe that process. Yes, I try to get my grandson to realize that he has to process better than what he does, because I will throat punch him, and I don't care who has anything to say about it, because if they got something to say, I'll do it to them too. Because at the end of the day, you can have you can have an opinion. You have to express it properly, though. You can't be disrespectful from it if you're trying to be a, a beacon of self love. If you're trying to walk in the light of my purposes to show self love to the world, then you have to show self love respectfully. If someone's disrespecting you, that's different. But just in general, because you're feeling some type of way, doesn't mean you disrespect somebody. There's ways of handling and processing it, and that's what I want to let them know. I want to teach them that you can have an opinion and voice the opinion respectfully, not disrespecting it, someone. And that's what I want to teach him. I really want to let him know that there's a proper way to express yourself and to get your feelings out. So yeah, I'm agreeing. TikTok flagged me on it. I don't care. Have you ever changed beliefs that completely changed your life? Have you ever changed beliefs that completely changed your life, Golden Eagle?
Yeah, absolutely. Um, yeah, yes, I have. Just the belief that I wasn't toxic. About 5 years ago, I had to sit myself down and kind of take a look in the mirror, and just start analyzing some of my own actions, my own behaviors, and just getting real with myself. But that made a huge change in who I am today. It's what spawned on the growth that I've gone through in the past 5 years. It started showing a little accountability for my own actions, my own behaviors, and stop looking outwards and more inwards. Like I said, that was the beginning of some serious, honestly. So yeah, that's just one example. I'm sure there's been more, but yeah, at one point in time, I was the toxic one. It really, even if it was just the fact that I found myself drawn to toxic people, I mean, that's a toxic trait within myself. So there was a lot of things that I really had to, like I said, once I really just took the time to look in the mirror, my whole belief system started changing. It was a gradual thing, but it did change. It has changed completely because I'm not the same person I was 5 years ago. That's
Facts. I want to read Kendall's own comment real quick. She said, children should be free to think and fully express in a proper manner. And that's what I was talking about, a proper manner. There's a proper way to express yourself, and there's a disrespectful way to express yourself. You may be mad and have feelings, which you're allowed to express them feelings, but blocking somebody and calling them names and swearing at them, that's not appropriate, no matter who you are. So divine creation, have you ever changed belief that completely changed your life?
Same two words. I am. But it was the knowing though. It wasn't just constantly saying it. It doesn't mean nothing if you don't have no feeling behind it or whatever. So I don't know how to word conviction, but that was like I wouldn't even say conviction. Say that question again so I can answer it properly.
Have you ever changed belief that completely changed your life?
Um, I just say that I moved from a modern Christian belief to more as ancient as I can get, and the dynamics of the story change. And because I'm a believer in the older it is, probably the more factual it is, or whatever, and it also resonated with me that that belief of the get, I don't know how to explain it. Just broadening that modern Christian realm, going into all the parts that was said to be tested, but nobody tests or whatever, and that I'm trying to figure out how to say the fasting part because the fasting was the ultimate change. Like I can't put nothing past the fast. The fast was for me, that fast was the ultimate. No matter what I was doing, I wouldn't have got there without the fast.
Mm,
Would have like I know that hands down. Like it was so life changing to me. I'm looking forward to doing another one. I'm just gonna do it when I'm led to, not when just because I want to. Because now I'm running out of my desires, and so I probably fail. Would have failed miserably. Probably won't even make it 24 hours because I'm trying to do it out of desire. Or whatever. When I'm led, I'm looking forward to being led to go 3 days again without completely nothing or whatever, and watching Earth move, watching things shift. Whatever. It's a beautiful thing for me.
yeah, I agree on the whole fast thing. When I did the 40-day, it made a huge difference in my life. I changed who I was, how I felt. Everything changed. And the think of that we're all sinners and stuff like this, that we're in purgatory our whole entire life, holding ourselves to contempt, it that changed for me too. I don't feel the way I did when I was younger on that aspect. I'm more connected to the fact of Christ like conscious within inside of myself, and that I am so connected to source, that we all are connected to each other, that there's no division. And when I was younger, I seen division and I knew division and I felt division. And now I'm thinking it's just the only divinity we have is the divine one. And that changed as I changed. In questioning your belief, in questioning your beliefs, a sign of growth or what is that? To rebel. Rebellion. What is it? No, you're muted.
Rebellion.
Okay, rebellion. Is questioning your belief a sign of growth or rebellion? Golden ego.
I like to think it could be either or. I guess it's probably just based on intention. You know, could be a process of growth, or it could be rebellion, but that would be more of an intention based action, one or the other.
I'm going to answer before I ask Jeff Graham. When I was younger, it was rebellion for sure. I didn't want to agree to anything anyone said. I just wanted to go opposite, regardless of what it was, just because I didn't want to fit into what they said. And then now, as I get older, question of belief is growth. It's not rebellion to me. Now it's knowing different. It's not believing anymore. It's knowing. Okay, divine creation, go ahead. Is questioning your belief a sign of growth or rebellion?
Knowing that turned to erasing that turned into a growth that looked like rebellion to everybody else. Because I knew, like I said, everything that I wasn't bucking the system when I was young. It was like I knew it was I already knew. Like I'm talking about from a kid, I was already denouncing I'm not gonna be a preacher because I saw it already. I was like, they are so lying up there on that pulpit. Like I was already battling it or whatever, and I got it beat out of me, slapped out of me, grounded out of me or whatever, stop challenging the preacher and all. I didn't care. I was challenging everybody, like, oh, y'all lying. That is not what it means. Oh, you a kid, you don't know nothing or whatever. And I'm talking back. Like this was the only time I talked. I was the most nicest kid except when it came to the Bible. Because they always kept talking about my soul, eternity, and then telling these lies. And it wasn't sitting right with me or whatever. And so that was the one time I speak up. Then I got it stomped out of me. And then I went all through the regrowth, or I guess the growth, because it wasn't a growth at the beginning. I went through a growth just to find out I was right the whole damn time. That shit hurt me how much they intentionally erased. Now it could have been intentionally because they really believe what they were saying. Not saying they intentionally wanted me lost. Like they intentionally believed that the way that they were seeing it was the right way. Whatever, and so, but I still felt the way because I could have been so much further if they would have just let me be on my path. Like, that was I wasn't mad at them because they parents, they doing what they think is best or whatever. And then I got to think about the time frame of my parents growing up, my parents being black, my parents being in the South, the way that they was raised or whatever. So yeah, to me, like they'll tell you the 80s babies were the first were the rebellious ones to them. My mama couldn't stand it. My mama couldn't stand me leaving the house when I started driving. She said she prayed every day because she knew if I got pulled over by a cop, bitch, give a damn, goddamn well, like I was that was me with authority or whatever. I was rebellious to everybody else, any authority. Like, don't talk to me like you own me or whatever. Like, we got a problem. I don't care nothing about that gun, taser, handcuffs, rulers, write up paper, ISS suspension. I ain't scared of none of that. Watch how you talk to me because I'm the most respectful person. Whatever, But nah, I wasn't rebellious in church. Whatever. But my mama would tell you I was rebellious though.
Golden Eagle, what beliefs do you hope to pass down to the future generation?
Just exactly what I said earlier, in the beginning of the show. Just what you put your mind to, you can do. Anything you put your mind to, you can do. I hope the future generations see that in themselves.
Divine creation, what beliefs do you hope to pass down to the future generation?
Chill out because you got this. Like, I had to talk to the aggressive side of them real quick without making it trying to sound like I'm trying to parent nobody, but chill out. You got this. All that stuff ain't necessary. Put some of that aggression towards your goals. Like, chill out. You got this. Oh, side note, you saying you can do it, put your mind into it. Switches. Yeah. For some reason, what's that song? You can do it, put your back into it.
That's what I just thought of.
I was sitting there thinking, could I use that to make a positive song? You can do it, put your mind into it.
I was thinking the same thing. So for me, what belief I want to pass down, trust your inner self. Trust your inner self and don't go against it, because I was a people pleaser and I doubted myself so much, and I knew better. I knew better. And I did. When I said I was rebellious, it wasn't to adults and it wasn't to religion or nothing. It was just because I questioned everything. To me, when you're younger and you ask too many questions, that's rebellious to an adult. You're asking too many questions. Why are you asking so many questions? Because I knew it wasn't right. I couldn't tell you it wasn't right because I didn't know that. I just didn't know. It didn't make no sense to me. So I was asking, and I asked too many questions. So that was rebellious to them. So for me, I'm going to tell you to trust that inner voice, that inner knowing, because we all have that. Even if some people don't have an inner dialogue in their head, we all have that gut instinct, that intuition, that inner knowing. Stick with that and don't second guess it, because if you think long, I'm wrong, or if you think long, you think wrong. Usually go with that first one. So yeah, and don't regret nothing. Them are the things I would love to pass on down, is don't regret and trust yourself. So, what's a positive message? Divine creation.
Positive message. Come back to me.
Okay. What's a positive message, Golden Eagle?
Believe in yourself. You know, I mean, similar to like I said, you know, what you put your mind to, you can do. So believe in yourself. Believe that. You know, you ain't gonna get nowhere if you don't.
My positive message is you put the cap on your life. You do. Nobody else does. Society don't. Your stipulations and situations don't. You do. If you could think, you can do it. So, divine creation, positive message.
Know that you are allowed to be whoever you want to be,
Mhm.
and you are allowed to not accept what anybody says about you as fact. In fact, good or bad, I wouldn't accept anything that anybody says about me as fact, because in the long run, if you accept the good, then you'll accept the bad. Just use the good as confirmation of what you already know. But going back to you got this.
Golden Eagle, what's the reflection?
Reflection. Healing isn't only about releasing pain. Sometimes healing is releasing beliefs that no longer align with who we've become. Growth isn't rejecting our past. Growth is choosing our future consciously. You don't dishonor where you came from by asking questions. You honor yourself by seeking truth with humility, wisdom, and love.
I want to read something that I wrote today, real quick. Hatred isn't caused by a race or a person. More often is it expressed of unresolved pain. When pain goes unhealed, confusion grows. As confusion grows, understanding fades. When nothing seems to make sense anymore, that pain can be expressed as anger, fear, resentment, or hate. Hate creates separation. Separation isn't the cause, it is the consequences of the pain left unhealed. Healing begins when we have the courage to understand the pain beneath our reactions. We all have a choice. Sit in the silence long enough to understand our pain so we can release it properly, or allow it to consume us, control us, and project it onto others. The question isn't who do I hate? The deeper question is, what pain have I not healed? Healing is a choice. Hate is a choice. The choice we make determines what we cultivate within ourselves and what we contribute to the world. Peace begins within. That's just my opinion. Here's a bridge to Thursdays. On Thursdays, we're talking about the conversations. We're going to take this conversation one step further. If beliefs shape our lives, what are the invisible laws that shape our actions? Join us as we explore 12 indivisible laws of success. Walk the walk, talk the talk. We are the ears that will listen and where your opinion matters. Don't just be different, become the difference. Until next time, thank you everyone for taking time out of your day to heal with us. May your night be full of positive energy, filled with high vibrations. Peace, filled with love. Ashe, everyone.
Peace, peace.
Peace, peace.
Peace.
Let's get to the bottom of this one. Unspoken truths that I miss one. Tap into the minds of the people, rather acknowledge before I dismiss one. Atheists, Muslim, Christians, Buddhists, they all got usage. All got perspective, it's a collective. Get to the bottom where the truth is, where the heart's uncovered. Where it detox from all of the lies you smother. When them tries to kill you, but with faith you recover. Yup. Peel off the makeup, we finna take off. Never said it'd be a cakewalk. Meditate till we charged up. Execute goes regardless. Decalcify my pineal. Breaking language barriers, we saw millennials. Planets passing age rotations, down me we owe. So down me we know. Sometimes we can't be slow, that's why my ears open. Every drop you add could complete the ocean. Speak up, play your part too. Been vulnerable with